The piece that we'll be singing is in Church Slavonic, which is an older form of Russian, and is not pronounced in the same way that you would pronounce modern Russian. I've transliterated it from the Cyrillic alphabet to the Roman alphabet that we use in English, and my hope is that it will be fairly intuitive to pronounce. This guide will help you to pronounce any sounds that we do not have in English, and also to know what to expect with the transliteration. It's a phonetic transliteration, so whenever you see a letter, it will always make the same sounds. Occasionally it will be a combination of two letters, as in SH, making the sh sound. But there aren't any bizarre rules to remember, there aren't exceptions to rules. It is just what you see is what you get. Starting with the vowels, if you're familiar with the pronunciation of vowels in Spanish, this will be the same. We have A, which will make the sound A, as in father, E, which will make the sound E, as in elephant, I, which will make the sound E, as in pizza, O, which will make the sound O, as in phone. A note on the pronunciation of O is that in English we have a tendency to turn O into a diphthong, where we say O and then follow that with an oo. We glide between the two of them. O, O. We're not going to do that. That's not how you say O in Russian. So you'll have to consciously think to leave off the oo whenever you say O. So you'll say O, not O. U will be pronounced oo, as in flu. And those are the basic vowels. There is one vowel in Russian that we do not have in English. It's a little bit odd. It sounds like u. It is made similarly to how you make the E sound. So if you were to say E and then move your tongue a little bit back, that'll get you the vowel. Say E, move your tongue back, E, and that's how you make that vowel sound. I'll link to a video that will help you to pronounce that. There are several tricks that Russian speakers have found to teach this bizarre vowel to we English speakers. If you find it's too difficult to pronounce, we can pronounce that one E. I'd like to pronounce it as it is, but I think the Russian-speaking members of the ward will forgive us for pronouncing it E. There are a bunch of consonants that will be pronounced as you might expect. B will be pronounced B, as in by. D will be pronounced D, as in dad. F will be pronounced F, as in fun. K will be pronounced K, as in kite. M will be pronounced M, as in mammoth. N will be pronounced N, as in no. P will be pronounced P, as in pig. S will be pronounced S, as in sassafras. T will be pronounced T, as in tap. V will be pronounced V, as in vat. And Z will be pronounced Z, as in zip. Those should be straightforward. They will always make the same sound. Then you have the letter combinations. You have SH, which will be pronounced sh, as in shy, and CH, which will be pronounced ch, as in chat. So all of those things should be basically familiar to you. The following things, they will require a little more thought because they can be pronounced different ways in English, or they are pronounced slightly differently in Russian. You have G. In Russian, G is always G. It's never J. So G will be pronounced G, as in gap. An example of this, we have the English word angel. In Russian, you'll be saying angel, angel, G. Always G, never J. Then there's L. L is L, as you would expect, but they say it a little bit differently in Russian. In order to pronounce the Russian L, put your tongue between your teeth and then say L. L, L. I'll be linking to a video to help you pronounce that, if you have any trouble. R's in Russian are always rolled. So wherever you see an R, that is an R, but it's rolled. So we'd be saying in Russian, or in Church Slavonic, Vmiert, Zdrya, Kriepost, and so forth. Always rolled. And if you struggle with rolling your R's, I'll link to a video to help you to learn how to roll your R's. If you still find it difficult after that, I would prefer that you just leave off the R's and any adjacent consonants when we're singing. So instead of singing vmiert, or sang in this case, you just say vmie, and we'll let the rest of the choir pick that up. They'll cover the rolling of the R's and getting the consonant where it needs to be. Another letter combination that you'll see is ZH. This sound is present in English, but is very inconsistently represented in English spelling. ZH makes the j sound, as in beige, vision, azure, or Jacques. So wherever you see ZH, it will be pronounced j, as in beige. Some examples of what we'll be singing with that are Jie or Żyznodawca. Wherever you see Y, it will be pronounced as a consonant in the way that we think of it in English. So Y will be Y, as in yellow. Some examples of Y in Russian. So you have Vmiert, Zdrya, Kriepost. You'll sometimes see Y-A-Y or Y-E-Y. Those are yai and yay, respectively. Some words that do that. You have rastvoryayetie. You have blistayaisya. And you have urazumietie. You'll also have the letter combination KH. KH, wherever you see that, is a guttural sound. It sounds like we don't have that sound in English, and we don't need to make it overly pronounced. If you've never made that sound before, consciously or with the intent to speak it, a tip on how to learn how to say it is you gargle and then move your head forward, and that will help you to feel where the sound is made. So you go, there's that. I will link a video on how to pronounce that. If you are having a hard time with that, either omit the sound or I think saying an H is probably fine, and the rest of the choir will help with that. So some examples of that sound from what we'll be singing are duchu and khospodi. We'll be saying khospodi rather a lot. Lastly, there are some combinations of sounds that will feel a little bit odd to you. They don't come up very often or at all in English. I found some examples to help you think about them. An example of this is FS. And since this is a phonetic transliteration, we'll pronounce it exactly as it's written. It just will seem a little bit odd until you get used to it. So FS, an example from English would be reefs, fs, and a word that we'll be singing that has that is fsya, fsya. So again, it's pronounced exactly as it's written. It just feels a little bit odd. Similar to that, we have TV, tv, tv. An example from English is outvote. We put a little space there. There's maybe less of a space as we're singing in Russian, but that's the basic idea. Outvote, to vote, to vote. Or A word that we'll be singing in Russian is tvoim. Tvoim. You have a similar thing to that in sv. Sv. I didn't come up with an example for that one, so I will just say, you pronounce it as written, sv. A word that has that we'll be singing is svoboshtsha. Svoboshtsha. That word also has the crazy combination sh, t, sh. Which, again, requires a little bit of getting used to. Svoboshtsha. Svoboshtsha. Another combination that you'll see is ts together. An example from English is cats, ts. Something from what we'll be singing is otsu, otsu. And another combination we'll see is sh, ch. Again, it will be pronounced as it's written, sh. An example of that sound in English is if you take the two words fresh cheese and you treat them as one word, fresh cheese, cheese, fresh cheese. And then some examples of that sound from what we'll be singing. We have vieszczasza, pridajuszczia, suściestwie, and zowuszcie. Pretty straightforward once you get used to it. A few other strange combinations of letters. You'll see KN next to each other, and unlike English, it won't just be the N sound, you'll pronounce the K. It's pronounced as written. So that is kn, kn. And a word that we'll be singing with that is kneem, kneem. Some other strange combinations. You have VMY, vmir, vmir. A word that we'll be singing with that is vmiert. Also ZRY. A word that we'll be singing with that is zrya, zrya. You also get KRY, krie, krie. A word that we'll be singing with that is kriepost. An absolutely bizarre word that we will be pronouncing is rtslitye, rtslitye. It's got the strange Russian vowel in it. It's got an R next to a T at the beginning of the word. That will take some practice. Rtslitye, 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 rtslitye. And lastly, there is FPY, fpye, fpye, fpye. A word that we'll be singing that has that is wpieczali, wpieczali. So, thank you very much for listening to this guide. I hope it's been very helpful for you. I'll be there at practice to answer any questions that you have, and it will be great. Also, if all of this is just too much for you, there will be the drone part, where all you will say is E for the entire time, and that'll be fun. So, thanks again,